começando aqui a continuação, vamos falar com o boss estético aqui do Lobineu.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobinot?
Lobinot.
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe. Yes, it was, just before Bastille Day.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just thinking aloud. Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
What can you tell me about Philippe le Bel?
He was responsible for the extermination of the Knights Templar.
I know that, but why was Philip so hot to get rid of them?
Mostly because he wanted to get his hands on their treasure. He had an enormous debt and a lifelong war with England to fund. The trouble was, the Templars were a highly respected holy order.
If the Templars were so powerful, how did this Philippe dude wipe them out?
By underhanded, dishonorable means, of course. The Pope was Clement V, a Frenchman.
French, huh? Handy for Philippe.
Fate had nothing to do with it. He was Philippe's puppet, planted to further his political ambitions. Philippe wanted the wealth of the Templars and used Clement to get it.
Oh, que doido. Será que isso é verdade?
So what was Philippe's plan? What happened?
Sealed orders were sent out all over France, not to be opened until the appointed day. That day was Friday, July 13th. That's the origin of our superstition regarding that date. At dawn, throughout the whole of France, the Templars were arrested. It was the biggest bust in the history of the world.
What happened to the Templars after their arrest?
É isso.
Philippe was out for blood, so he handed the Templars over to the Inquisition. Not surprisingly, they confessed to a sensational and sordid list of blasphemies.
Like what?
Oh, the sort of things you read about in the gutter press. Devil worship, lewd sexual practices, spitting on the Holy Cross, that kind of thing.
Well, that must have given their lawyers some headaches.
Whether or not the accusations were true, this was not good publicity. Most of the charges were probably cooked up, but so were the Templars, literally. Hundreds of them were found guilty of heresy and flamed grilled at the stake. They died protesting their innocence.
But surely Philippe had no proof of his charges against the Templars.
A man will admit anything under torture. The Inquisition fabricated some nonsensical demon called Baphomet, and then suggested to their victims that this was what they worshipped.
But they didn't have to agree.
The records show a Templar coming to trial with both feet burnt off. Fragments of flesh and charred bone falling from the stumps. What would you not admit to stop such torment?
So there was no truth at all in the Baphomet accusations?
Not a shred. Almost every victim described the idol differently. No, Baphomet never existed outside the sick minds of the inquisitors.
So Philippe stole the Templars' riches, huh?
É muita
Oh
coisa.
no, they weren't stupid. The king's troops marched first on the temple in Paris, then to the Templar home port at La Rochelle. There was no trace of the treasure, and the fleet of the Knights Templar had set sail.
Agora vamos
I'd
mostrar
like
pra
your
ele.
opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez.
Nossa. Vamos mostrar pra
What do you
ele
make
aqui.
of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so.
Does the guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
No.
Todo mundo fala, não.
How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters.
Huh?
The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in
Os
fact.
caras
The
dominavam.
poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
The
Que existe ali
manuscript is being looked
Templars.
after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I noticed a predatory look in his eye. Suddenly, this friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf. This friend, who has the manuscript,
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
Nossa, ele falou com...
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Ele falou de um jeito... bem empolgante. Eu acho que eu tenho que ir pra casa dela agora. Acredito eu. Vamos nessa. Eita lasqueira, falta 10 minutos ainda de vídeo. Montfaucon. Mas eu vou lá na casa dela. Ainda demais. Vou no Montfaucon. Montfaucon. Berimbau com sal.
Hey, Nico.
Oh, hi. I didn't expect you back so soon.
Olha, passou carro.
Have you found out any more about the Knights Templar?
Yes, I have. The guy responsible for their downfall was Philip IV, the King of France, otherwise known as Philippe le Bel.
I've heard of him. I saw some coins from his realm at the Musée Kroon.
Well, he is known to history as Philippe the Fair, but I doubt if the Templars called him that. I'm sure André will tell you all about him.
I'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Vem, vamos logo no negócio lá. Oh, meu Deus. Pam, 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 pim, pam. Montfaucon. Ih, rapaz. É esse cara? Ele é o Ah, ele é que
Excuse
aparece
me,
no
officer.
próximo jogo.
And how may I help you?
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
Ele tá bêbado.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
In French, English, and German it read, in 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the knightly order of the Templars and excommunicated its members on charges of heresy. In the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt at the stake on an island in the Seine. In the middle of the square was... I wondered if there might be something relevant beneath street level.
Será que ele vai reclamar?
Hey! Hey, you! What do you think you are doing? Leave that cover alone! Now!
Será que eu tenho que mostrar o cartão de eletricidade?
Sorry, no harm intended.
You stay away from that!
Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
Take a look at this.
Ah! An electrician! My TV has been acting up. Could you fix it?
I doubt it. This isn't my ID.
Ah! Sério, velho, que tu fez isso?
Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh!
Is that all you can say? Oh!
I did wonder if I should... But it didn't seem...
Hello again, officer.
Hello
Nossa, sério que...
I'll see you around.
Oui,
Tá. Vamos lá. Vamos subir aqui nessa bosta. Jack Demolay. Jack Demolay. Jack Demolay. Que nome, velho, pra um cara Jack de Molay. Molay, Mulei, Mulou.
Waiting in prayer.
Ah, eu acho que bota a joia aqui em algum lugar, ofereça essa bosta. Tem um puzzle idiota aqui dentro.
biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess. A stone knight. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout. A huge stained glass window formed a magnificent centerpiece for its neighbors.
Jack de Molay.
The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well. The statue had any secret. A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. I wondered if this guy had died in combat. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. I didn't have time to sit around. A row of old... I thought of all those firm... the flabby... That was... Whoa!
Okay. Aparentemente não tenho nada pra fazer aqui, né?
Hello again.
Hello again.
Does this red...
Ah, there.
It is?
No.
Look at this...
Cut glass.
No, it's not. It's for...
What kind of madman?
So, either it's glass or I'm mad. I didn't like to think about that for... Take a look at this.
Ah, mate.
Take a look at this.
Ah, mate.
Do you know what...
It's S.
Does it mean anything to you?
Do you belong to some obscure arm of the Masons?
Does this matter?
The Pat. Beyond that?
Do you know what this is?
Aha! Yeah, I read Hollywood. What?
If you tried to sniff this stuff, you'd wall up your nostrils. It's plaster of Paris.
It is. For one awful moment, I thought, alors, the paperwork.
Would you like to... I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been... They'd rebuild the... What do you make of this...
Delightful. Would you like to see some of my used tissues?
Hell no.
Then please put your...
I'll see you around.
We must...
An architectural echo of the... In the middle of the square was a manhole. I wondered if there... There was no water to frolic up, and the leaf mold that was collecting there... There was no water to... And the leaf...
Rapaz, eu tô enrolando aqui porque eu não sei como é que abre esse negócio não. Então vou salvar aqui e vou ver como é que faço isso.
Hey! Hey, you... Leave the...
Beleza, mandou deixar, então vamos deixar.
Sorry, no...
E vamos salvar, né? Dar aquele save maroto, porque o tempo já se foi. Já enrolei bastante, então fui.